friends, be at rest and hear my tale of a people who've refused to fail. Though trials have been many and perils have been vast, we've a God whose protection has been promised to last. The nation of Israel was once a small tribe. Through the blessing of God, they began to thrive. God brought them to Egypt by his mighty hand to provide them with food when famine spread to their lands. In Egypt, the numbers of Israel grew until arose a Pharaoh who never knew of Israel's son Joseph, who helped keep Egypt alive when all of the crops in the nation had died. This Pharaoh saw Israel's numbers had grown. He feared they would claim Egypt's land as their own. So as ruler and king, he made a command. Israel was now enslaved in his land. As days and weeks and years went by, as slaves Israel lived, and as slaves they died. Yet Pharaoh was fearful, for their numbers still grew. He decreed a law that distressed them anew. All of your girls born to your clan, they may live only to marry an Egyptian man. All of your sons, they must be slain. We shall eradicate your race, your people, your name. A woman from amongst the Israelites was afraid, for she'd borne a son in the night. She hid her son for a time in her home. As he grew, she feared his presence would be known. So she and her daughter crafted a plan. She would give her son the best chance that she can. She made a boat for her son and instructed her daughter, watch over your brother as he floats on the water. Miriam watched as she was told to do, and she prayed to God to be watching them too. God was not absent. He was guiding his plan to rescue his people with his mighty hand. As Miriam waited, the princess arrived. She spotted a basket and looked inside. Her heart was touched as she saw the young babe. I shall raise him, and Moses shall be his name. Miriam took a chance and approached Pharaoh's daughter. Shall I find you a nurse for your gift from the water? Moses' own mother became a nurse for her son, and she gave him back to the palace when his childhood was done. But as Moses grew, he remembered his days as a child raised among the Israelite slaves. So when he saw an Egyptian strike a Jew twice his age, he struck down the Egyptian in a blind rage. This news soon spread, and he feared for his life. So he fled to the hills, raised some sheep, took a wife. Moses withdrew from the life of his past, yet the life he had chosen was not meant to last, because God still heard the cries of the Jews. His plan still in motion, no time left to lose. Moses was not hidden, though in a distant land, and God reached out for Moses with his mighty hand. While Moses was herding his sheep on the plains, a bush right before him burst into flames. God spoke from the bush, and its fiery glow. Moses, tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Moses balked at this mission, citing his flaws. I am the wrong person to speak for this cause. My tongue is too weak. My speech is too slow. If I'm delivering the message, Pharaoh will say no. God said, it is not you who needs to be strong. I am going before you. Aaron is coming along. And Pharaoh, he may indeed refuse, but then he will know the power of the God of the Jews. Moses agreed, though still full of fear. He returned to the home he'd left for many years. From his birth, he'd been chosen as part of God's plan to rescue his people with his mighty hand. Moses and Aaron approached Pharaoh's home. They stood in his presence at the foot of his throne with the courage that comes from the God that we know. They firmly told Pharaoh, let my people go. The rest is history, as they say. By God's hand, our chains have been taken away. Now we remember, for we are rescued too. For our freedom, let us all give thanks anew.